Bangladesh and a few hundred thousands who are still in Myanmar. Now we've heard about the conditions in the Bangladesh camp, what the Rohingya refugees go through there. We've heard about the genocide in Myanmar, the violence that they've fled. But rarely do we get to hear about the Rohingya refugees who live in India and their conditions. What we do actually only get to hear and read about them publicly is actually a lot of misinformation. They are officially called illegal migrants. People call them terrorists. People have called them termites, threat to national security. So our attempt through this report and this film is actually to show you the reality, whether you're in India or joining us globally, the reality of the Rohingya refugees who live here in India. The faces behind the slurs, the women, the children, the different lives behind the xenophobic, anti-Rohingya remarks. For the report and the film simultaneously, which we will show you, Dan and I and our colleagues, some members of the Azadi Project, we moved and traveled and researched in 3 cities in India: New Delhi, Hyderabad, which has the biggest settlement of Rohingya refugees in India, and in Chennai. We're very grateful to all the Rohingya refugees who let us into their lives, shared their stories with us. This report or the film wouldn't have been possible without them. But what we found out from what they told us was actually disturbing. What they told us about their experiences was unconstitutional and also against the international laws of justice. We had people talk to us about how Rohingya in India are arbitrarily and indefinitely detained. We had mothers and children tell us how they were separated and moved into detention centers, and they barely get to see each other. We had pregnant women tell us that they could not access public health care, and some of them lost their children because of that. So this is what our report and our film wants to focus on, the reality of the Rohingya refugees. We also spoke to local and international organizations, some of you who are present here, who were able to share with us about the challenges and the government scrutiny they face while trying to work with Rohingya refugees. As I said, our hope through the film, through the report, through this event is to change the negative narrative around Rohingya refugees, one of the world's most persecuted people in the world. And the fact that all of us, even though we are small in numbers, I think we're about 50 to 60 here, the fact that we have gathered all of here in Delhi and people joining us globally, it's a small but brave step in that direction. And before I end, I just want to say that through all our research, our reporting and our film, you will see we have tried to keep the anonymity of people who requested anonymity. So if there's any media present here or there's media who's joining us globally, we request you to do the same, because we don't want any further persecution or any more challenges to come to these refugees. With that, I present you the film. It's called Displacement and Detention, after which we'll do a panel discussion.
Three-year-old Salman is here to see his mother, who has been in detention for more than 2 years now. He is accompanied by his aunt Sabira.
Conducive of human existence. I mean, every refugee who is registered with the UNHCR, their biometrics are already with the Foreign Regional Registration Office. So they know where they live. They have sufficient surveillance going in there in the settlement zone. So there is no way they're escaping or causing a threat. If they're causing a threat or a danger, then one needs to see them from a criminal point of view. Now the purpose of these detentions itself are very unknown, and by law they cannot be detained indefinitely. And the SOP says 6 months.
So the SOP is saying that beyond refugees in detention, they should be released, the biometrics should be taken, and they should be going for frequent verification to the police station. Is that correct, Mr. Bhushan?
See, refugee cannot be detained. The detention can only be for an illegal immigrant. See, there is a distinction between an illegal immigrant and a refugee. has to be given refuge under the standard operating procedure. Only an illegal migrant can be detained, and that too for up to 6 months, etc. And even for deporting them back, you have to follow the procedure that is, which she has mentioned, that you have to get the other country to whom you are sending them to agree to take them. And in this particular case, once when the government claimed that these people have agreed to go back, and Myanmar has agreed to take them, but Myanmar was not giving them citizenship. And yet the government made these false claims, and unfortunately the Supreme Court did not even bother to get them verified by some international or some independent observer.
So others like her, they are, even though they are refugees, they are looked at as illegal immigrants, which is unconstitutional. Secondly, that even if they were looked at as illegal immigrants and put into the detention centers, they cannot be there beyond 6 months. And